2025 in the UK. That's where I live, and I want to look at the question that is, what is the real cost to stacking gold and silver in the UK? Welcome to the channel, Andy here, CPM. Interesting subject, but the reason why I'm going to do this video is recently a few people, I've heard a few people in conversation, I've watched a few people in conversation, and people have asked me a few questions about stacking gold and silver. And they've all been relatively new. They all have their own reasons. So I thought, I always have you should know me by now, I always sit there and think, okay, what is the real cost to stacking silver and gold in the UK today? And I had a real good think about it. It's Sunday. I've poured myself a lovely glass of whiskey. And I thought I'd just sit there and just, I don't know, go over some thought processes in my mind. And it's something because I've been probably stacking, collecting silver, gold for a few years now, I've never really thought overly about, well, what if I was brand new in a certain age bracket with a certain budget today? What would that even look like? How can I imagine what that would look like? So I thought, okay, let's really have a look around for a change. I haven't done it for a while. Look at the type of questions people are asking and what they're basing it on. Now, I thought I'd try and look through the glasses of the younger generation in today's climate, and yeah, that's a bit of a tough one to try and imagine for me in my 60s now, but let's have a go. So let's look at a typical. I use my oldest boy as a benchmark here. You know, late 20s. On the housing ladder, got a good job, partner's got a good job, working really hard, got a massive mortgage for years and years and years and years, incredible amount of years, and haven't got a family, not even thinking about having a family. But when I talked to him, he recently said to me, because he was looking at, or we was looking at, because we do everything as a family, we was looking at how can we get him thinking about saving for his future, let alone saving or working to survive. So we did a lot of budget stuff, we did a lot of working out, we did a lot of very frank reality type discussions, had a lot of those. And yeah, it turns out that the younger generation, with all the overheads that they've got, have very little, unless they've been given it, but as a rule have very little to be spending on what I would call, not quite luxury things, but what I would call nice things to maybe invest in. Like we're in the UK, I've got a typical 2025 Britannia 1 ounce silver coin with King Charles head on the back. So anyway, I'm not going to go into the detail of the costs and how much and bits and pieces, because that's personal to him and the family. But it made me sit there and think, wow, now I would imagine this must be a lot of people And if I'm honest, they haven't got a lot of money at this moment in time in the UK. You haven't got a massive amount of money to start thinking about saving for your future. And I know a lot of people say, "Oh, you can earn more money." Da, da, da. Well, trust me, when I'm talking about him and his partner, they earn very good money, and they do choose to live in an area that's quite expensive to live, but that's by really, to be fair. The knock-on effect is it's all relative to who you are, where you are, wherever you are, as a rule, in the UK. So it's pretty obvious, and it turns out that most people of that generation, of that age group, probably the 25 to 35 age group, haven't got a massive amount of money, if not more than that, age-wise, haven't got a massive amount of money to spend on stuff, let alone start to think about saving for their future, and especially as, you know, we're on topic, gold and silver. So, of course, then I sort of reamed in the general, you know, I'm fortunate enough, people sometimes just pop into the chat down in the whiskey lounge when I've got it open, and the voice chat, you know, new people drop in, and quite often they ask relatively the same sort of questions. As one of the biggest ones is, do you think silver's going to go to $50 an ounce? And that's like, what? Was that the very first question that someone asked? But that just tells me that people that are looking around jump on the internet, hear some, whether it's right or wrong, they hear people talking about extortionate prices that possibly, words like possibly, could go to. I've spoke about on my channel as well. And you know, if you're a little bit of a gambler and just think, oh, crikey, I've got a really good chance of making some money. If that, as a rule, if that's been spoken about, you know, it's a good investment, it's going to go up, blah, 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 bang. You've got a lot of people that have been around for ages. The first thing they talk about, well, back in the day, I bought silver at whatever, and now it's worth da, 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 da. So people see numbers for the wrong reason, and you can get this disillusion that this stuff's going to make you rich, you know, gold and silver. Sorry, I've only got a Perth Mint 1 gram par to show you. I should have a Britannia because we're in the UK, but you have to use a bit of imagination. So the first illusion that new stackers seem to be picking up on, and I was no different, I was guilty of this when I first got started. You have a tendency to start looking around, and then people are telling you, oh, it's great investment, it's going to go to the moon. One day, because of all the economic conditions, it's going to go mad and it's going to be worth so much money. And then you fall into that trap of FOMO. And then you start thinking, I need to buy loads and loads and loads and loads, just in case, just in case, just in case. So I hear that a lot, indirectly from new stackers. And then I think, well, where are they going to get the money from to do that? You know, then is that making people then, oh God, I've got to borrow money to get a hedge and just buy as much silver coins that I can get or gold that I can get, because maybe, I'm not saying it won't, not saying it will, maybe because some people that are pumping prices around are saying it's going to happen, they're going to get rich. And then they find that, like most of us that have been in it for quite a while, it doesn't really work that way at all. So what is that cost? That cost is that it could be a massive cost that if you're gonna just get confirmation off of people without learning, get confirmation off of stackers, so oh yeah, it does go up, goes up a lot. Listen to, you know, the stuff that you just want to listen to, and then you dive head deep into buying all this stuff, which is quite a high premium at the moment. it's worrying. It is really worrying, because when you look at, you know, just the Brit, the 1 ounce silver Brit, if you look around now, and yes, there's going to be people shouting at me on this video saying, oh, you can get it cheaper than this, or they're not as cheap as that, they're more than that. Don't forget the VAT, don't forget this, don't forget that. Okay, as a rule, this is as a rule. I had a quick look before I did this video, and pretty much ballpark, people are selling, you know, Britannias, you know, it's all gone up at the moment. Spot price for silver is £26 just over in the UK, which is, you know, it's a decent price. But as a rule, you go into dealers, you're looking at reputable dealers. You're looking at around that £36, £37 mark, and that's when everyone starts shouting, oh, I'd never pay that for 1 ounce of silver. Yeah, whatever. I'm sure you have done. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. I don't know. But for new people coming in, you know, that's all they see. Now, yes, there's places you can go to that sell it for 33, 32, 31 if you're lucky, depending on how much someone's bought it for back in the day and how much profit they're making. But most people will rip the shit and try and get as much money as they can while the conditions are right. Don't be fooled by that, people. When it comes to money, people will get as much out of you as they can, as a rule. That's the way that's the marketplace, that's the way it works. So yeah, 30, you can get them for 32, 33, 34, depending where you go. But then everyone charges you like, I don't know, £4 to £5 postage on that. Well, that puts you up into the £38, £37, £38 mark for most 1 ounce silver coins. So lots of people forget that. Postage, you know, people aren't going to send you stuff for free. Which is why when you go on, like in the UK into Atkinson's site, it's like so straightforward, because it's free delivery. Well, it's not free, you're paying for it in the price of the silver. But when you shop around and look at everyone else, well, they're roughly about the same. They might turn around and say, it's a great marketing ploy, or you can get my silver for £32 an ounce, £33 an ounce. They go, oh, brilliant, I'll buy some of those, bang, 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 bang. And then they go, okay, there's postage on top of that. So are you getting it? Well, it's fortunate enough if you can buy more than one. Yeah, you make a bit more money that way. But this is my point. When you're talking about 30 odd quid for an ounce of silver, not a lot of people in the general range of people have got a lot of money at the end of the month. So the same we can say for gold, you know, 1 gram of gold, this beautiful perfume piece. I would love to pretend, I might have to get some just to use them in videos. But for argument's sake, you know, a 1 gram piece of gold in the UK, yeah, you can go to Tabix, about 89 quid with postage. Atkinson's about the same thing, same price for a Britannia. You know, and as a rule, you're paying sort of that sort of money. But in other sites, they're charging you 85, you know, plus packaging, postage. You know, it takes you over that £100 mark with 1 ounce of silver. So if you wanted to buy 1 ounce of silver and 1 gram of gold, you're talking about 130 quidish mark. Well, most people are struggling to have £100 left at the end of the month. And that's the bit I wanted to highlight. This is not easy for people, you know. And for any new people coming in, you know, shop around, look at things like postage. How much does it cost to send it to me? You know, do your calculations. You know, obviously it's more cost effective to buy more than one, because your postage is the same for 2 or 3, isn't it, roughly? But yeah, if you haven't got that sort of money to be able to pay out every flipping month, then you're going to struggle, and you're really at the mercy of, you know, the very small amounts of silver, which is a good thing because you're budgeting yourself, but you're at the mercy of paying, you know, being able to afford just 1 gram. I mean, 1 gram a month, you know, it's 100 quid roughly. In the UK, £100. And I know personally, I've met and talked to a few younger people, they can just about survive, you know, without thinking about spending loads of money on gold and silver or stocks and shares or Bitcoin or crypto. Or this is why so many people get so ripped off, because they get desperate, and it's a sorry state of affairs. And I'm sure it's not like only like it in the UK. I'm sure it's like it all over the Western world, I would have thought. So really my message is, yeah, the cost of stacking in this country, obviously it's relative to your budget. Duh, that's a no-brainer. But I always look at the younger generation, the people that maybe are not in the same position as me, that are wanting to get into or trying to improve what they're doing. But I'll be ever so frank, I really do think that with all the FUD that goes on in the internet about about the cost or the bloody price, everything's price. The price of silver, gold is going to go to the moon. Well, I've been hearing that for years, you know, and it hasn't really gone to the moon. The only thing that's gone to the moon is bloody inflation and money debasement. And the value of our bloody money just seems to have gone in the opposite direction, you know, and it's getting worse. So, yeah, it's not a great sales tactic to talk like that, but it's called reality in my eyes. And I hope that that's a little bit of food for thought for anyone watching this video. Take your time, there's no rush. Your money's so valuable to you. But yeah, if you've got any spare, just spend it bloody wisely, you know. None of this is worth getting in debt for, that's for sure. You ain't going to get rich, guys. I don't know anyone in the community that I know of personally that we would classify as being rich. You might look it, but no, I don't think so somehow. Getting rich, you need to be a lot flipping smarter with a lot more different ways of using your money, with different assets and different ways of getting around certain things. And that's not the majority of people that I come into on a day-to-day basis. It's definitely not me either, that's for sure. So yeah, take your time, guys. You know, it's great fun. You know, if you can afford to get one of these a month, one of these a week, you know, it's fantastic. It's a fantastic way of saving, for sure. If you can up your game a little bit and you've got a little bit more cash available, you know, you can get your 1 grammers. Your 1 grammers I don't know, if you're fortunate enough to do it a week, yeah, fine. But I know most people won't be able to. You know, a lot of I've heard a lot of people talk, and I believe in it, having a diversified portfolio. Well, if you've got £200 disposable income per month, how diversified can you be with that? You know, you can buy on a regular basis. You know, we've got to be a bit more realistic with the prices and the way everything's been so inflated. It's hard. It's really hard. Let me know in the comments what you think. Am I being realistic? Am I not being realistic? But I'm coming from a point of view from new people that probably haven't got that massive amount of money disposable to them at the end of the month, week, whatever. You know, and then and you look at the actual cost of buying this stuff nowadays. It's crazy. It soon eat away at your budget. And I'll tell you what, there's a lot of people that want to relieve you of that money too. So have a good think about what you're doing. Don't rush. And yeah, have fun with it all, you know, and look after your money. Really look after it, because it's precious. And I know how hard it is to get and how hard it is to hold on to, with so many people at the door trying to get it from you. Because basically everyone's doing the same thing, trying to survive. Anyway, hopefully that helps. Take good care. See you all soon. Bye.